the dividend buy on account of the trouble that they're seeing on the cess front is the big question. We now continue our coverage of the 2G license cancellation impact on a day the BRICS nations meet to promote increased cooperation. We're joined by Andrey Terebenin, member of the board of Russia Sistema JSFC, who has a joint venture with Sham Teleservices that runs telecom operations under the MTS brand in India. Mr. Terebenin, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Sistema has sent a notice to the Indian government saying it will invoke provisions under the bilateral protection treaty that you currently enjoy. But Telenor, for instance, has already gone ahead and invoked the arbitration provisions. Why have you decided to wait before invoking the arbitration proceedings?
As far as I understand, our case was raised during the meeting. Previously, it was 2 days ago when Mrs. Nabiullina, Minister of Economics and Trade of Russian Federation, spoke with her counterpart, Mr. Sharma, and as far as I understand, is being discussed now during negotiations on top level of Mr. Medvedev and Mr. Singh. We don't have any particular feedback from the meetings. The only message what we've got from the Russian delegation that their issue is important and their attention of the Indian counterparts was brought to our particular case.
Okay, so you're saying the matter was discussed by both the trade ministers as well as at the level of the Prime Minister, and that there is a cooling off period as a provision of the treaty, and which is why you haven't already invoked arbitration. But Telenor, for instance, has said that it will seek compensation from the government for the investments that it's made in its telecom venture in India. You haven't articulated a figure in terms of compensation or damages, but you've invested about $3 billion in India. So what kind of compensation would you be looking at?
I think it's because of the mechanism of the Russian-India bilateral investment treaty. I think it's wise, in my opinion, that this mechanism provides so-called 6 months cooling period. It means like you file a notice saying that you think that you have a problem under this very treaty, and the procedure gives you 6 months period in which you should make your best efforts to try to find an amicable solution in negotiating with your counterparts. Only after that, and providing the proofs to the court that you tried but failed to find an amicable solution with another party, you can apply, you can file a formal apply.
Okay, so you haven't decided on the compensation yet, but it seems unlikely that that 4-month time period will actually see a conclusion of the spectrum auction, as was earlier outlined by the Supreme Court. The government has clearly been talking about a 400-day window, and that means the auction could take place only early next year. What happens then? Because you stand to lose your license come June.
This is not a compensation. I mean, like, one thing is how much we invested. Yes, we invested in the business more than $3 billion. But the damages which is done to us because of unfair, in our case, revoke of the license, it's a very separate issue which is not calculated yet.
Okay, if you don't get an extension beyond June, as far as your license is concerned, the auction is only held early next year. Will you continue to operate in India, or will you wind your operations up, as has been the case with a foreign company like Etisalat?
Okay, so we're in India, and we should follow their legal requirements in India. I think that, and it's our general position, that their decision of the Supreme Court should be implemented in full, not in parts. The decision was that their whole auctions on these frequencies, which the government got after revoking the license, should be held before June 2. And we think it's very important to make it done.
Any indication that there could be the possibility of a license extension if indeed the spectrum auction doesn't take place before June?
The decision is not made here formally because we still expect formally, we just suppose that the auctions will be held as Supreme Court, according to Supreme Court rule. But I think that from my personal opinion, I think yes, we will continue to operate business as usual as we do now.
All right, looks unlikely that we will see spectrum auctions of any kind before June. We wish you the very best of luck. You're certainly going to need it.